Jon Delaney.
Shawn.
Real news, no bullshit.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I fucking love your page.
I appreciate it.
I don't know how I found it. I think, how long have you guys been around?
We started up in 2020. 2021. Right before the Biden administration came in. And I kind of got into it. I tell you, you want me to get it right into it?
No, I was going to say we'll get into why you started it, but I think I found you. I had to be like right when it first came out because I was going to say I found you during COVID. I think I found you during COVID.
Really?
Yeah, because I was looking. Embarrassingly, I've bought off on the whole, narrative for about the first 2 months.
Okay.
I was out there spraying the packages with Lysol and doing all that, and then I talked to some buddies of mine that were down in Florida, some fellow SEALs. We did a Zoom call, and they started. So I didn't have any cable TV. I still don't because I've always thought, well, not always, but I've thought the news is completely full of shit.
Yeah.
For several years now, and but anyways, so I never. We just don't have cable because I'm like, it's fucking worthless.
Right.
And, but we did have Air TV. So when COVID came out, I had Air TV, but the only news station we got was ABC. So you know what that was?
Yeah.
You know what that was?
Yeah.
We're all going to die. Everybody in Italy's dead. The hospital beds are completely
COVID death tracker number.
And then I talked to my buddies and I'm like, I think I may be off on this.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I started looking for different sources on social, and yours must have popped up. And dude, I love what you guys are doing.
I appreciate it.
It just seems like straight facts, no spin, no opinions, no analysis. Just this is what's happening, and that's it.
Right.
And
here's what this guy's saying.
Yeah.
Here's what that guy's saying.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I love it, man. So for anybody listening, real news, no bullshit on Instagram is where I follow you. But
yeah,
are you on X and everything else?
We're on X. It's kind of, X is full of a bunch of bots.
Yeah.
All that shit. So we've kind of geared away from it. I also feel like X is a little bit too loud. There's too much shit on there. We're going to jump back on it because I feel like I haven't found anyone on X that's just keeping it real. But just that, and then we have a website. That's pretty much it.
Right on.
Instagram's our thing.
Well, let me give you an introduction here.
Okay, man.
Jon Delaney, founder of Real News, No Bullshit, a platform dedicated to delivering unfiltered news on global events. Self-made entrepreneur who started young, turning ventures like selling fake IDs in high school and other hustles into life lessons. An old soul who grew up fascinated by the news while your peers were into cartoons. A truth seeker who transformed a personal Instagram account into a news page, now employing others and focusing on real stories amid media noise. Not a decorated veteran or official, but a man with scars from life's mistakes, exploring faith through daily Bible reading and committed to staying on a path guided by a higher purpose.
Yeah.
How's that?
It was good.
Right on. But, all right, Jon, so a couple things to get through before we get started.
Dude, I've heard about these.
Vigilance Elite gummy bears.
Yeah, man.
Made in the USA. Legal in all 50 states. Not that you have to worry about that in California, but and then we just came out. We released these a couple years ago, and then didn't do it again until this year. But I think you're gonna dig these. Vigilance Elite S'more Bites. Those things are like worse than crack.
Really? Okay, man.
But
well, I have a gift
good
for you, Shawn.
Dude, I love gifts.
It's an interesting story before I give this to you. I told you I'm trying to figure out what I believe in right now.
Really? What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I grew up Catholic, but I just...
You talking like God, Jesus?
Yeah,
what's it all about?
I haven't figured it out, but I'm trying to. and good friend of mine that you could envision him. He's like the Dan Blazarian of my friends, right?
Yeah.
Told me recently, his name's Dom, that he's reading the Bible every day. And that shocked me because this is not the guy I would expect to be reading the Bible. And I said, shit, if he's reading the Bible, then what the hell am I doing with my life? Right. So I recently picked up a Bible and I'm reading a page a day.
Good for you, man.
And my goal is I want to go after the Bible. I want to read everything because I don't know. But I don't subscribe to the idea that we're just all here because of a big explosion. There's got to be something. There's some sort of creator. And I want to find something that I believe in. But with that being said, I know you're a man of faith. So I have this gift for you. It's a piece of American history. That is a Bible that was pulled out of a burning church during the Civil War in 1864.
Pulled out of a church during the Civil War in 1864.
Burning church. So the story behind that Bible goes is that in 1864, there was a church in Jacksonville, Florida. And at the time, a bunch of Union soldiers were sent up from South Carolina to go to Jacksonville and to basically get control of Jacksonville. And they called the town at the time was a Copperhead town, which means there were rebel sympathizers. So their job was to go in there and basically get everything under control. And the church got burned down. And the interesting thing is nobody knows who burned the church. They both blame each other. You got the rebel sympathizer said the Union soldiers did it. The Union soldiers said the rebel sympathizers did it. But the reality is the church burned. And for what I think we're going to talk about today, it kind of fits well because I think both sides are blaming each other for everything. So
That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
it does. So I was going to get you like an antique gun or something. And I said, Shawn has too many guns. And I know you're a man of faith, and hopefully that should be in a museum, I think. But
Dude, thank you, man.
I appreciate it.
This is awesome. So you're into it. You're reading a page a day. How long are you?
I'll be honest with you. I was slacking a little bit. I finished, I think I'm maybe 25 pages in, but there were a couple days I didn't get to it, and I was making excuses for myself. And then somebody told me you can listen to it on audio.
Yeah.
So now there's no excuse. So I go through 2 to 3 chapters a day. I restarted because I didn't know there's a difference between, is it NVE or NVD?
I'm no expert, man.
There's different forms.
I know there's a lot of different versions.
There's different versions of the Bible, and you have to understand, like, I'm starting this, and I don't know shit. So I'm reading some King James version where they talk very eloquently.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard for me to, what does this word, why,
What does it mean?
give it to me in a more digestible.
Dude, I got something for you. Hold on. All right. So I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say that, dude, I don't understand the Bible. Like,
Yeah.
I don't either.
It
doesn't sing. I'll read a page 5 times in a row and I'm like, I have no idea what this means.
Yeah.
I have to have somebody to explain it. So this book was given to me. I've sent this to like anybody who's a really good friend of mine who is trying to figure it all out. Right. So here, this is called The Jesus Calling, and it's only about what Jesus said. You read one little, less than a paragraph in the morning when you wake up. I like to read it before I go to bed. Wow. And it's just give it a shot. It's not a big lift. It makes sense. It's not hard to understand if a dummy like me can get it.
Well, we're both there, man.
Just see how it makes you feel.
Okay.
And
I appreciate it.
Just see how it makes you feel, and makes me feel really good. A lot of times when I read it, I feel like it's like fucking talking to me. Like,
Really?
yeah, like it's a direct reflection of what I just went through in the day. That's why I like to read it at night before I go to bed. So, but yeah, very plain terms, easy to understand, low lift, and
I'll give it a shot.
yeah, just see how it makes you feel. But dude, I'm happy for you. That's awesome.
It's something different, and I hope I can figure something out. Yeah, we're all on this path.
Just lean in, man.
Try
Lean
it.
in. But all right. So I got a Patreon account. It's a subscription account. It's quite the community. They've been with us here since the beginning, and really they're the reason that I get to sit here with you today. And so one of the things we do is we offer them the opportunity to ask each and every guest a question. This is from Kirk Powers. From your experience in analyzing different media sources and their content over the last 5 years, what percentage of the modern day media output resembles propaganda instead of factual news coverage?
I don't. Yeah. Was that Kurt? That was a packed question. 2 ways I want to go about this. If let's look at international media. A lot of them are either state controlled, state affiliated, state owned, state funded, right? So you would naturally assume that those outlets have some sort of agenda or narrative that they're pushing that would push what someone might define as propaganda. But the thing that's interesting is, how do you define propaganda? Right. Very interesting, because I went to Ukraine and I did a documentary about the war in Ukraine, and I wanted to talk to both sides, Russians and Ukrainians. But at the time, there were a lot of Russians, a lot of Americans in Russia that were getting arrested, journalists. So it makes it hard for me to go to Russia. But we did some remote interviews. And one of the interviews we did was with a doctor who worked for the Wagner Group. And this is the first time, and it kind of ties together to what he was asking. This is the first time I ever got my dose of, holy shit, like, this is what propaganda looks like. He said, just come to Moscow. Instead of doing this virtual bullshit interview, because it's hard to hear you, just come to Moscow after Ukraine. I said, the fuck? We're not going to Russia. You guys are locking up journalists left and right and calling them spies. His response, I thought I was so shocked. He said, what are you talking about? What do you mean, what am I talking about? He's like, we're not locking up American journalists. I said, it's all over the news. What are you talking about? We've arrested 2 and they were spies. Haven't you seen all the stories? And they caught them red-handed, and there's videos and this and that. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy? I know the accusation that they were spies, but what are you talking about? Yeah, our media, our news, they've shown all this and that. He said, and this still fucks with me to this day. He said, I'm more concerned for you when you go home. And I said, what do you mean by that? He's like, don't you see what they're doing to you guys and your people? They're arresting, at the time, President Trump was being, he had all that criminal cases against him. So they said, look what they're doing to your politicians. Look what they're doing to, I believe at the time, was it Matt Taibbi that was getting audited by the IRS? It was and it was very questionable how he got the audit, or they were looking for him or whatever. So all these things, and this guy's throwing me all this information, and I'm like, wow, you live in a totally different reality. And it made me, like, after talking with him for so long, it made me start to question, am I being lied to? Because the propaganda is so good. So going back to his question, I would say, what's your definition of propaganda?
What's your definition of propaganda?
Just things that are outright bullshit that they're pushing. So for one example, when the United States carried out some strikes in Yemen, I believe it was when Trump came into office a couple months in, there was accounts on X posting AI generated images of them shooting down an F-35 that was the size of, I mean, straight up bullshit. They're generated images, and they're pushing this out, and they've got bots amping it up, and I think something like that is easily definable as propaganda because it's clearly not true, and they're pushing it to create some sort of a narrative. But it's hard because I absorb a lot of news.
I would say propaganda is any form of manipulation of the truth, to include lying. And that also includes withholding truth. So all the nuanced shit that we see in the media today, and they paint it out to one side, and yes, there are facts involved in what they're reporting, but however, there are a lot of facts that they leave out,
right,
that paint an entirely different picture. Well, and that's for both sides. That's for the entire world.
Right. And that's the problem. I look at journalism as you're painting a picture to somebody, and depending on where you get that picture from, it might be a little heavier on the red paint or the blue paint, or it might not even have that color. And so it's hard to really narrow down how much of it is bullshit and how much of it isn't, because everybody has a different story. Like right now, for example, I was just talking to Jeff about this. We had an article the other day about Secretary Hegseth is talking about giving Ukraine new firepower, quote unquote firepower. And the big talk right now is that we might be giving them Tomahawks. Don't know how much you've been following that, but prior, when Biden was in office, they were saying, if you give medium range missiles, not even Tomahawks, that could lead us down a war, to the path of nuclear war. And we're now at Tomahawks, possibly. So our media right now is talking about is that there's the possibility we might be doing it. But what's really interesting, and they're saying they would do it because Putin's refusing to stop the war. But what I like to do is, and I want to say, well, what's Russia saying? So, and anybody can do this, and I encourage everybody to, because you should be open to everything. And Russia is painting this narrative right now, whether true or not. I don't want to give my direct opinion on it, but that Trump has switched on Russia and is now going towards Ukraine. But the reason why is because, and it's very convincing that they're telling their people, is the U.S. doesn't want the war to end because the military-industrial complex is making shitloads of money off the war in Ukraine. So that's why Trump has flipped and is willing to escalate the war and continue it to go on. And that's, I was telling some people, Americans, about this, and they said it kind of sounds believable. And that's what they're telling their people. So the thing is you're going to get a different side of everything, no matter where you look, and no one's ever really going to give you the full picture.
Yeah.
And it's hard to zero in on what's true and what's not. You might say one thing and the guy behind you has a different story.
Oh yeah. I'm very familiar with it.
It's tough.
Why are elite athletes and high performers using Armora colostrum? Because Armora colostrum is nature's first whole food with over 400 bioactive nutrients working at the cellular level to help build lean muscle, accelerate recovery, and to fuel performance, all without artificial stimulants or synthetic junk. Armora can help strengthen immunity, help ignite metabolism, and so much more. I've been using Armora ever since they sent me some to try. I have more energy and faster recovery after long days and workouts. Whether you're running a business, training hard, or just want an edge, Armora can help optimize your body for peak output. I've worked out a special offer for my audience. Receive 30% off your first subscription order. Go to armora.com/SRS or enter SRS to get 30% off your first subscription order. That's ARMRA.com/SRS. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. These statements and information are not a substitute for or alternative to seeking care from your healthcare providers. When I started this podcast, it seemed like I had to figure it out all on my own. It was overwhelming. When you're starting something new, it seems like your to-do list just keeps growing and it can overrun your entire life. Finding the right tool can be such a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names to brands just getting started. I use Shopify to power my own business so I can keep bringing you Vigilance Elite gummy bears. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build online and is packed with helpful AI tools to accelerate your content creation. And, like a marketing team, Shopify can create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are. Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping and beyond. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your 1 month, $1 per month trial period and start selling today at shopify.com/SRS. Go to shopify.com/SRS. Shopify.com/SRS. I mean, so if you had to put a percentage, what percentage of the media do you think is full out propaganda?
It's hard to give a percentage, but
Would you say it's the overwhelming amount?
Yeah, it is, because everybody has a different interest. Everybody has a different position. I mean, to be honest with you, naturally, I'm an American citizen. I would naturally have interests that I would want my country to do well because I live here. Right? I would be lying to you if I said that I'm not somewhat pro-American in a way.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? So take somebody else, maybe a Russian journalist or a Chinese journalist, an Iranian journalist, an Israeli journalist. They all have, they have an invested interest to make sure, you have a family.
Yeah.
Things have to go well for you. And that's the hard part, is trying to figure out what's true and what's not. And I take a different approach. I don't think I should be telling you what the truth is. I think I should just give it to you. Say, here's everything. Here's the entire picture.
Here's all the narratives.
Here's all the color. Now, what do you believe? And that's what I think's lacking in the media. Like what I do, Shawn, I'm not a genius. I was the dumbest kid in my class growing up. 1.7 GPA, struggling through high school. I was an idiot in middle school. I've only read one book in my entire life.
Are you serious?
One book.
What was it?
Called The Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Well, now you're reading the Bible.
That too. Listening to it. But you see, so it's not hard to do this. It's for some reason, I think a lot of people feel like they have to give their opinion or their stance. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm an expert.
Yeah.
But I'm a good listener.
What was the motivation that got you to start Real News, No Bullshit?
It's a couple things. So I started posting the news. I had an Instagram at the time. They call it so it's funny. There's Instagrams and then there's Finstas. Have you heard of that?
No.
A Finsta's like what they call, it's like a fun Instagram. So you're a little more raw, I guess, with your friends. So I started posting to my friends the news because I recognized that none of them were paying attention to what was going on in the world. They were kind of like clueless. So I started just saying, hey guys, you should be paying attention to this. Like, this is crazy. Like, look at this, look at that. And that started building. And friends started referring friends. So I had more friends start following me because they were interested in the news and they wanted it in a digestible, easy to read Here's what's happening. Here's what this guy said, and here's what that guy said. And it slowly started building on my personal Instagram. And over time, it became more than just friends joining me. It was friends plus now their parents. And I'm like, okay, shit, I got something. But what did it for me, and I want to be clear, like I'm not giving an opinion about what happened this day, but the day January 6th happened, I cried. Because I saw that, like, fuck, dude, we're so divided, right? I get emotional, it's sad, but I was like, what the fuck is going on? Everybody's so divided, whether you're left or you're right. I just said, dude, I can't, like, what do I do? So I said, I'm going to make an Instagram account. And I'm going to make this bigger. And I was mad. What angered me the most, it wasn't just about people going in or whatever. People say it was peaceful. Some people say it wasn't. I'm not here to debate that with anybody. But what I am here to tell you is that the division that was amplified that day from both sides was sickening. And I said, we've got to get back to a place where people can start treating Americans like Americans again. And we're far from that, dude. We're super far from that. And it's getting, every day, I think it's getting worse. So after January 6th, when I saw all that, and then I saw social media, Republicans are blaming Democrats and Democrats are screaming at Republicans, and the media is spinning it their ways. You know, you turn on CNN and they've got their view, and MSNBC, they're painting it like this is insane. And then you've got Fox News painting in a different way, and you've got people saying different things and getting mad and screaming and yelling. And I said, what the fuck is going on? What are we doing? You know? So that was the day I was like, we need to find a way to get people informed, and we need to find a way to maybe try to get people to see both sides, because I think the echo chambers were too loud. I mean, it's true. And I want to be clear. Some people might listen to this and be like, he's saying that January 6th was an awful thing, or he's not talking about the FBI agents. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not on my level.
I've never discussed that on here.
But my thing is this, and I want to be clear. I'm not,
a reason.
I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Because that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. You're getting tied up in all the noise. I'm talking to you right now as an American, not as a Democrat, not as a Republican. I'm talking to you about as somebody that lives here. That was a shitty day. And it's one example of just,
it's sad.
It's
sad.
It's sad.
I mean, it's sad, you know, but how I mean, so you started this because of January 6th, basically.
It wasn't specifically January 6th, because I was into it before. I was posting the news because I realized my friends weren't paying attention to what was going on in the world. But what pushed me to then say, okay, I'm taking this to the next level. Instead of just posting this to my friends, I'm going to try to reach a bigger audience. So I was always into this. But what pushed me to then say, I need to get out there. This can't be just some little private thing that my friends get to read. Because I can't change, you know, a couple hundred people, right? What's that going to do? I need to try to get a little louder. So I still remember the day I started it, man. I was pouring rain. I was at a gas station, and I said, you know, fuck it. I'm gonna make a news account. And I'm sitting there and signing up the account. asked me, it says, what are you going to name this thing? You know, what's the username going to be? And it was, didn't even think about it. Real news, no bullshit.
Nice.
And that was it. And then, you know, it's crazy where it's gone. Like I still sit every day, I'm like, this is not real. But I think there's a huge craving in this country right now for just the news. And what I'm doing is not crazy. I'm not revolutionary. I'm just literally telling you, this is the picture. Here's some color on the red. Here's some color on the blue. Figure it out. I'm not here to give you the answer. A lot of people in this.
I think what you're saying, and I agree. I think I know what you're saying. Basically, what you're saying is you are not telling people how to think
100%.
or what to think. You are presenting them with whatever's out in the ecosystem at the time. You don't put a spin on it. This is what's happened.
Right.
This is who's saying it. You make your own damn mind up. That's what I try to do here.
Right. And it's interesting because a lot of people aren't used to that.
They have to be told how to think. I
Have
think
to be spoon-fed information.
Yep.
And
I think that I think we've lost a major. I think we've lost the majority of the older generations. I don't think those are salvageable.
What do you mean by that?
I think what I mean by that is that my mind right now is how do we salvage it? You know, you're trying to salvage it through real news, no bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to salvage it through a couple of different ways, talking to both sides.
Right.
You know, not telling people how to think, letting them digest the information, very much similar to what you're doing. You know, but you know, taking a look at it, you know, from a 30,000 foot view, you know, when you see people, lots of people who continuously they get their information from only one source, only one news station, you know, that typically is the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
Their world has been flipped upside down. They don't know what to think. They are
Brainwashed.
insalvageable, brainwashed voters.
Right.
That's what that is. That are incapable of
Absorbing another view.
exactly.
And that's why I tell people, and I hope you don't mind if I say this, if you're listening to this and you lean left or right or middle, or you watch, let's say you watch CNN or you watch Fox News or you watch MSNBC, because that's what you like and that's what you believe. Great. Good for you. Do me a favor. Take 30 minutes out of your day and go watch something completely counter opposite to that. Why? Because you need to challenge your thoughts. If you get stuck in an echo chamber, then you're basically being herded like sheep, right? Mm-hmm. So I have friends that lean left and right. I tell them all the time, go listen. Like I have a very liberal friend. She can't stand, like I could just pull somebody younger though. So I said, go listen to Benny Johnson for 30 minutes. I could never do that. Do it. Make sure you believe what you believe. I have another friend, super conservative. Go listen to those girls on MSNBC. Dude, I can't do it. Why? Just prove yourself that you're right. Prove that what you believe is what you believe. And a lot of people need to do that. Mm-hmm. You need to be diversifying your news sources because there's too much, unfortunately, there's too much noise in it today. You know, with this rise of independent media, and we'll get into this, there's a lot of activists masquerading as journalists. Mm-hmm. And you've got to now get out there and pick a handful of the ones you like and a handful of the ones you don't agree with, because you'd be surprised when you get stuck in your echo chamber how much you're not hearing about other shit. You know? Mm-hmm. People will say all the time, I had no idea about this. Oh, maybe it's because you listen to CNN all day or Fox News. You know? They leave things out. Remember, I told you they paint a picture. Mm-hmm. They might not include that stroke or that line.
But it can be, you know, to their credit, and I'm dealing with this right now. it's not just mainstream media. It's also, you were just talking about independent. It feels like, the algorithm will put you in a cage.
It's dangerous.
It's a cage. And you can tell when you're in a cage when every other post is all the same subject.
Right.
And it's not just the same subject. It's a specific one-sided narrative about that subject.
Right.
And you are encapsulated inside of that algorithm. You cannot navigate your way out.
It's immense control. And it's truly like, I don't even think people understand the scope of it. And it could be weaponized very easily. And we get sometimes some people will say, you guys only post right-leaning stuff or you only post left-leaning stuff. I'm like, no, we post both. It's just your algorithm is cooking it up to you the way that it wants you to see it. Go actually tap and read.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. You're right. It's the algorithm has a play in it. There's a lot of things that.
So how have you set your team up? How have you
Very
set your team up to be real news, no bullshit?
We started with 4. We're down to 2, plus me. And then I've got some part-time people, but I have 2 people that write for me that don't agree on anything.
Nice.
But you know what's special about those 2 people? While they don't agree on anything politically, one's got blue hair and one's a super right-leaning guy. You know what I mean? Like that you would never, the stereotypes for both sides, that's what I have. And while they don't agree on anything, they're friends and they can work together. So what I do is I write a little bit, but they mostly write. And let's say I have somebody write something. I don't want to name her, but let's say she writes something. I'll say, hey, now you write this. Go add your flavor to it, right? And then what I kind of do is I take both and I put it together. So I have 2 writers, myself, and then some people when we do our documentaries. But it's a tight ship, dude. I don't need a lot of people.
Yeah.
Don't need,
How do they find their information?
They search the web. I mean, they read news like everybody else reads news. Obviously you can't just rely on AP or Reuters or whatever, but they'll go ahead and start looking into a topic, watching press conferences. That's something that we do a lot. We're watching a lot of video all day. All these hearings, all these, everything that everybody else is absorbing. And then we're kind of observing then what the left and the right is saying, or if it comes something international, maybe what the U.S. is saying, the prevailing argument, and then we'll go take what that country is saying or those people are saying. I kind of look at it as like a book report. And our stuff's very standardized. We give you an intro sentence. We give you sometimes a paragraph about some shit you should know. We always say some shit you should know before you dig in. Just some really foundational information that brings somebody up to speed. And then it's just, here's what this guy said, here's what that guy said, and that's what's going on. It's not like a whole huge process on how we do this. And because of that, I figured the less people you have in your bubble, the better. It's less drama, less bullshit.
How do you keep them from putting their own spin on things?
They all naturally have their biases. I think that's when I come in. Like we're here right now and there's no news being posted while this is being recorded. Why? Because I'm the final one who has a say on what goes up. And that's a double-edged sword. See, like that gives me a lot of influence over my people because technically I'm dictating what my people are seeing. But I have this view that both sides suck. This is a game, right? There's a saying that they're 2 sides of the same coin. Very true. And I think that kind of gives me the ability in a way to just take the best arguments from these guys, and just put it together. But yeah, they do have their spins. Totally. But that's what's the beauty of having two people that don't agree on anything working for you, because you get two really good arguments.
How many times are you guys posting a day?
Depends. 4 to 6 times a day. We got on Instagram, and then on our website, we're doing like 5 to 6 articles a day. I mean, these bigger news outlets, they're doing 30, 50.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, I think, is a lot of noise, a lot of the bullshit.
How fast are you growing?
We're going pretty fast.
Seems like it.
It's technically, since then to now, we're almost at 1.6 million followers.
Do you guys have a newsletter by chance?
No.
Dude, you need to start a newsletter.
Really?
Yes, you need to start a newsletter.
All we do, man, is like, I haven't really refined it because I'm in a position where I just want my news to be accessible, and I didn't really get into this to make money. I genuinely wanted people to wake up. And I think as time has gone on, we've built ourselves on Instagram, man. I haven't spent $1 on marketing.
Wow.
Not $1. It's the name.
Yeah.
Which, when I first started, a lot of people told me, you got to change the name. No one's going to take you seriously. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Why? It's just what it is. It's real news with no bullshit. Just,
Yeah.
you take it.
Let's talk about the double-edged sword of independent media.
Yeah. It's, I have a very interesting take about the rise of independent media. And to get to that, I think we got to step back just for a second and talk about how we got here.
Okay.
I believe that the rise of independent, or what I like to call new media, began when the first spark, I think, is when Donald Trump announced his run for president, his first time. And the word fake news kicked it off. That's from what now I'm young, man. I'm not old. And so it could have been before that. Someone might listen to this and say, oh, it started way before. This is from my view. And when Trump became president, we had this war between Trump and the media. And I think whether you agreed with the media or you agreed with Trump, it was opening people's eyes to the possibility that maybe some people are biased. I grew up watching CNN when I was a little kid. Man, when I was 6, 7 years old, that was my thing. I loved watching CNN and stuff like that. And I never noticed that they had a bias till Trump announced his presidency. It was obvious. And I also, at the time I was so young, I didn't realize Fox News had a bias that was pro-Republican. But as you get older, you start figuring those things out. But when Trump ran, it was crystal clear that there was this rise of clear bias in media. And that, along with him battling the media throughout his presidency, started leading to people looking for alternate sources. But what truly lit the fire was COVID. I believe that when COVID kicked off, there was an active effort to suppress information that was valid. And I'm not going to get into, I know there's a lot of people that have a lot of different views. Here's one fact that I point to. We got penalized by Meta and almost lost our account for talking about the Wuhan lab leak theory. Was it 2 months after Biden came into office? Almost lost our account. Okay. Now I believe it's today, is it with low confidence the CIA says that it could have been a lab leak? You know? Information changes. But, you know, the mainstream media at the time wasn't talking about that. That was a conspiracy theory.
Yep.
Right? You never saw that shit anywhere. And so that's one example out of many where I think people really started opening their eyes and they're like,
Why do you think they covered that up? Why do you think that was the forbidden fruit that you're not allowed to talk about?
the Wuhan lab leak?
Yeah.
theory?
Why? What is it about the Wuhan? Why don't they want that coming out?
I mean, your guess would be as good as mine, but I would personally think that if the public had an idea that China was making biological weapons, right? Because that was the whole idea. They were working on this whatever. That would maybe freak people out. That's a reality I don't want to live in, where we have foreign governments making bioweapons.
There's always been foreign governments making bioweapons.
Right, but I think
I mean, Syria's been gassing its own people for
right.
ever.
Right. I mean, it could be something like that. It could be, I mean, what is the public going to demand that the United States do something? What does that response look like? At the time, too, something really interesting. Maybe it could be this, just coming to my thoughts. When COVID kicked off, where were we getting all of our shit? All of our PPE stuff?
China.
So can we talk shit about China when we need all that shit? Can we? I don't think so. Look what's going on right now with China. As we're sitting here talking, they have a monopoly on rare earth materials that we use to make missiles, to airplanes, to the shit in your phone, right? And they're putting export restrictions on that stuff. What do you think China would have done if we came out off the bat and said, you fuckers leaked it out of a lab, fuck you, now let me buy 5 billion masks from you?
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to say? They're going to tell you to go kick rocks.
I mean, it's
Or are they going to just take the money and keep doing business? I don't know. But, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. It could be anything. There's a prevailing theory that China, that was being pushed in China, that, and I've seen this theory, I haven't looked into it, that it leaked out of some U.S. facility. Have you heard that?
University of North Carolina.
Yeah, I haven't done my research on it, but I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because we're saying it leaked out of Wuhan. They're now saying their conspiracy theory, quote unquote, is it's coming out of some place in North Carolina or wherever. Mm-hmm. So it's I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that theory. I mean, I don't know. I think China has got us cornered in a lot of different ways, and they don't. I don't think they necessarily need a reason to pull the plug on us.
Do you think Americans realize that?
I think that a lot of them do now.
I tend to think that Americans have no idea at the level China's at right now.
I think the listeners of this show have an idea, but
yeah.
I think that people are waking up to it. I mean, 2020, yeah, the 2020 election, it was also, leading up to it, it was, xenophobe, all the, in the debates, you weren't allowed to say it. It would correct you.
Yeah, it's awful.
You know what I mean? It would correct whoever was talking about it, paint them out to be some mass racist, against China, when we're just having, fucking discussion. But
right. And that's how it should be. You should just let people talk.
But afterwards, right after the election, you started seeing, Democrats started taking China more seriously. It was almost like, have you guys not been listening to the president for the past 4 years? He's been talking about this nonstop. Then he was labeled a xenophobe. Then the next guy comes in office who's on the other side, and all of a sudden everybody starts taking the shit seriously. And
I look at it really interestingly. I think we're seeing right now, we're in some scary times, and I don't think people realize it. You've got a Western rules-based order, and you've got an Eastern rules-based order that is now wanting to come up. And I tell people, when I started giving the news to my friends, I always would break it down in analogies, because I feel like I had to get them to understand it a little better. And it's, the United States has undoubtedly been the only chef in the kitchen for a long time. And what we're seeing now is China saying, hey, we want to cook too.
Mm-hmm.
The question is what are we going to do? Are we going to allow them to cook or are we not? And I would argue that based on everything that's going on right now, the U.S. isn't willing to give that up. And that can lead to some scary shit. And, I mean, dude, look at what's going on right now. I mean, China is, they're building up, man. It's not even, they used to say that we would always be ahead. Now I keep hearing they'll be caught up to us in 5 years. Trump just said it a couple of days ago. So it's inevitable. I don't know. It's coming though. And that's scary. Right now in space, something I've been watching a lot. It's not getting a lot of attention. You know, they got satellites in space stalking all of our satellites. Stalking is the words they use.
I have assumed that. I did not know that.
They've admitted it. Top generals that we have Russian and Chinese satellites following our satellites' every movement. And you know what that tells me? Is this world might not be as stable as we really think it is. And that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. I live every moment of my life now because the next 10 minutes isn't guaranteed. That's scary to hear. But when you see shit like that, nobody trusts anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And I look at the news, look at what's going on. I mean, it's fucked. It is. And it's, I don't know. I mean, it's sad. It's sad.
What are the pros? Let's get back to independent media. I mean, what do you think the pros of independent media are?
Look, I think it's important to have alternate sources of information that aren't controlled by like the big five. What I mean by the big five is there is media, like Disney owns certain news outlets, Comcast owns the news outlets. They're all under their umbrella. Salem Media, which I don't even know if it's possible to show you, they're one of the biggest in the country. Nobody really talks about them. Have you seen that video where all the reporters are saying the same shit at the same time?
About 100 times.
Yeah, that should scare the shit out of people, right? I hope you can show that. That is why independent media is important. That video is the perfect example for it because everybody's reading off of a script and that's being disseminated across America. So back to your original person's question, there's propaganda. That's propaganda. You know, that's like some Soviet level shit happening in America. So the pros of it, obviously we have just an independent, not controlled by a certain entity being able to give out news. But so you get that, you get analysis, you get different things, and you can kind of bend rules a little bit. When I say bend rules, maybe it's not the etiquette to be a regular journalist and follow certain rules or have to do this or that, or, you know, so there's some bending that I think can maybe lend a better picture for people. But I also think that there are a lot of cons with it.
What are the cons?
It's interesting coming from me because you would think I would think this is great. But there are a lot of people in this space right now motivated by money.
Yeah.
Because everybody's in it to collect a check. If you open up wherever you get your news right now, let focus on an independent creator. They're all activists. I have not to this day. There's one person I've found, but everybody is basically these new independent creators and news journals or whatever. They're mini CNNs. They're mini Fox Newses. They're activists. They're not journalists. And they're towing their party lines. And I can give you some examples off the bat that go both sides of this. When President Biden was in office, fact, he relied on influencers to push the Inflation Reduction Act, brought them to the White House, right? They made some chick that hides under a desk. I don't know if you've seen her on TikTok talking about how great the Inflation Reduction Act is. I wonder if she was paid. Another one, recently, we got a ping pong, right? All the journalists who got invited to the White House to parade the Epstein file.
What a fucking disaster that was.
Fucking disaster.
Holding that shit up like it's a trophy.
Yeah, and what did we get? Nothing. What a shit show that is.
Yeah, it continues to be a shit show.
Every day, man. And it's bad. It's bad, dude.
You know what worries me about independent media and mainstream is, you know, you're right. Everybody's driven by money to some extent, right?
Yeah.
But you see, like, people will go down rabbit holes and you don't see them come out of certain rabbit holes. And then it becomes the thing and they can't leave it. You know, they can't,
It's a drug.
Yep. It's what the audience expects from them. They get, I don't know what happens because I like to keep it, you know, we'll hit a subject and then we'll hit a totally different subject. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't dwell in the same subject matter for long. I like to bounce around because every subject can become the one thing that you're known for.
Yeah.
You know, and you see that with a lot of different subjects right now. You see it with COVID, you see it with Jan 6, you see it with Israel, you see it with China, you see it with BLM, Antifa, any, you know, you see it and then it's bam, bam. That's all we talk about is that one thing. And then you got to start getting creative to pump out new content. And you got to start, you know where I'm going. Like eventually the facts run out or you never run into the facts. So then it starts theory and then conspiracy and then.
And conspiracy makes money.
Yep.
That's the issue. Goes back to what I was saying. There are a lot of people in the space chasing a check and there's a lot of money in here. Okay. I've been lucky enough in my life that, you know, I've always been doing different stunts and entrepreneurial shit. And I used to chase money when I was growing up. And once you kind of start getting some of it and doing some things, I've had some successes here and there. That doesn't motivate you anymore. So for me, I don't really give a shit. I really don't. I mean, I don't want to be losing, but a lot of these people that are in here, they don't have that. They don't have maybe another nest to go to. And so what do you got to do to make money? How do you make money as an independent news creator? Two ways. You either sell subscriptions or you sell your soul. That's it. We went the subscription route. We have people that subscribe to us that pay for a little extra news, but the other way to do it is you sell sponsorships. Now, some sponsorships can be great because they don't influence what you're talking about. But a lot of it isn't. A lot of it is people that are getting paid right now, Shawn. This is a real thing, and I can show you where people are being paid to talk about news.
Oh, yeah, we've seen it.
There's a perfect example.
Before we dive into this,
Yeah.
because we're going to spend a lot of time here, let's take a little break. Do you feel it? That something's off? What if none of this is real? For decades, wars have been fought in silence. No bullets, no bombs, just influence. They're called psychological operations, PSYOPs. What if it's all designed for you? Find out who's really pulling the strings. I'm Shawn Ryan, and this is Target Intelligence PSYOP, an Ironclad original. In this 8-part audio experience, we uncover the ghosts in the machine. Buy it today at psyopshow.com. Here we go again. History is repeating itself. Gold just hit another all-time high, and silver's climbed to its highest level since 2011. With uncertainty and fear rippling through the economy, more people are turning to safe haven assets like gold and silver. And it's not just hardworking Americans making that move. Central banks and billionaires are doing the same. That's exactly why I've partnered with the award-winning company Goldco. They specialize in helping people protect their savings with real assets, gold and silver, and they make it simple and easy. So go to ShawnLikesGold.com to learn more. You'll get a free 2025 gold and silver kit, and you could qualify for up to 10% in free bonus silver. Don't wait. Now is the time to make your move. Visit ShawnLikesGold.com one more time. That's ShawnLikesGold.com. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. The cost of everything is still out of control, and many of us are relying on credit cards. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. Americans collectively owe over $1 trillion in credit card debt. You might have considered reaching out to American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. Well, there's good news. They've created the Smart Equity Loan, a solution designed to help you take control of your finances without touching your current mortgage. Unlike a HELOC, which can have varied interest rates, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate. That means one predictable monthly payment, giving you peace of mind. This loan allows you to leverage the equity in your home to pay off high-interest debt, free up your cash flow, and keep your existing low mortgage rate intact. It only takes 10 minutes to get started with no upfront or hidden fees. Call American Financing today and start saving now. 866-781-8900. That's 866-781-8900. Or AmericanFinancing.net/SRS. All right, John, we're back from the break. We're getting ready to talk about all these influencers taking payments for different narratives. We've seen a lot of this in the media lately.
Yeah, so let's start domestically first.
Domestic influence first.
And then we'll get into the foreign shit.
Right on.
And I want to be clear, like I've got one example that's going to lean more to the right, but it's on both sides. I'm just picking the most recent example to give you. But there's a company called Influenceable. Influenceable. And they're basically like a marketing company that goes out there and tries to create noise release for marketing campaigns. And they're getting a lot of shit online because they've been involved in political campaigns, campaigns to drive policy and whatnot. So this is
Influenceable. How are they reaching out to people? Is it email? Is it social?
So I'm going to show you some stuff that I pulled. This is to give you some background. X is a cesspool of a lot of people who think they're, how do I say this?
The
Shawn?
resident expert?
They're armchair quarterbacks that don't know shit. Yeah. And you know, it's funny. I listen to a lot of them. Like what's X Spaces? I'm an X Space fiend. I love listening to these guys pontificate bullshit, and I'm sitting there fact checking them just as they're talking, and they're all full of shit. Okay, but with that, there's this like rivalry among some of them. They don't like. I might not like you because you're taking away from my audience. There's a lot of that shit. So this came out on X. This got aired out like laundry. This company called Influenceable, allegedly, I want to be really clear. So that
allegedly,
yeah, if you guys are coming to sue me, allegedly, you can. And this is all on X. They pushed a campaign allegedly that was trying to convince people to not allow the government to overregulate and get involved in where people were buying soda with let me read it exactly. This campaign highlights the dangers of government overregulation with a specific focus on current efforts to restrict soda purchases through food aid programs. So do you remember when RFK was pushing to stop using SNAP benefits to purchase the ice cream, soda, all that shit? So this is one of these conservative news influencers aired out everybody's dirty laundry and called everybody out. I think he's just as guilty, but in other
Called
shit.
him out for what?
A lot of these news accounts, they were more right-leaning, started posting on X. I'll start giving them to you. Sorry. Read this. I'll just give you both. Read both. Those are just two examples.
All right. So you want me to read these out loud?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
So this is Eric Doherty. Important. We cannot allow Make America Healthy Again messaging to be used to force needy Americans into not buying certain things. Some officials in D.C. are working on trying to prevent Americans on SNAP from using those benefits to purchase any soda. Remember, when New York City Democrats tried to prevent people from buying and consuming soda, it backfired big time. President Trump literally has a Diet Coke button in his Oval Office. Let people think and decide for themselves. Anyone can consume soda and be perfectly fine in moderation, unless we're just going to ban every food with sugar in it for SNAP Americans. This is
Another account, one of the most popular accounts on X.
not Jerome Powell.
Yeah.
Government overreach strikes again. This time it's soda's turn. They want to restrict soda purchases through SNAP this time. This is an unwarranted attempt by the government to dictate what Americans can or cannot consume, which is an overextension of government power and a violation of personal choice. Even President Trump likes to drink his Diet Coke on a daily basis. The government needs to stop overregulating what Americans can or cannot do.
Okay,
can I read the initial?
Yeah.
So this is from...
That was the initial campaign that was allegedly sent out. And this guy named Nick Sorter, which I've got my opinions on him I can give you later, but he aired all this out, saying, look at all these guys in my realm that are doing this campaign and that are pushing the same messaging, because that's when RFK was talking about potentially trying to restrict SNAP benefits to purchase soda and other shit. And then all of a sudden you have all these accounts. And if you compare both messages, what's something that they both talk about? Trump, Diet Coke, Trump, Diet Coke.
Let me just read this real quick. So
Yeah.
this is allegedly the what?
That's allegedly the pitch that was given to all these influencers.
Okay, soda bans and government overregulation. Objective. This campaign highlights the dangers of government overregulation with a specific focus on current efforts to restrict soda purchases through food aid programs. The narrative emphasizes how such regulation is an overreach that unfairly targets consumer choice, especially considering the president himself is a Diet Coke enthusiast. Key messaging. Government overreach. Efforts to restrict soda purchases through SNAP are an unwarranted attempt by government to dictate what Americans can or cannot consume, which is an overextension of government power and a violation of personal choice. Personal choice and freedom. The right to make personal food and drink choices should not be restricted by government bureaucracy. Consumers, especially those relying on SNAP, deserve autonomy in their purchasing decisions. Economic concerns. Limiting soda purchase will likely harm beverage companies, retailers, and food suppliers, especially those who catered to low-income Americans by relying on SNAP benefits. Trump's preference for Diet Coke. Trump himself regularly enjoys Diet Coke, can be used to highlight the ridiculousness of these regulations.
So pause for a second. The fact that those two tweets are literally hitting the point on that document to a T. And here's the problem. None of these people disclosed that they got paid. And this is the
I
instruction.
wanted to say one more thing
Okay.
that I find interesting here. Then it gives you key resources. These look like links that you can download images or maybe some sort of video. So it says key resources, and we'll post this up so
Yeah.
people can see it. Another war on soda, how bureaucratic overreach threatens Trump's working class coalition. And then another link, Trump with Diet Coke image. So
Come on, dude. To
Yeah.
a T. Here's the instructions on how they would submit their work at the end.
it's submittable. Okay.
Well, how they go to get paid, essentially.
Okay, if you submit posts after the campaign deadline, it will still count as a missed deliverable. Missed deliverables are deducted from your base pay. It is very important we have all deliverables so we can utilize this in our campaign overview. And then, it just has a bunch more points. All posts must show likes. Do not hide likes. If these are hidden, you will only get paid 50% of your offer. Pages must be sent to public. We cannot compensate for posts on private pages. Yeah, it's all typical ad campaign guidelines. Basically, this is
Right.
ad campaign guidelines.
But they're pushing, these are news influencers who consider them independent. That's not independent. You're owned. You're owned.
So where are these coming in from? Are these from email? I mean, I'm curious to see if
they come from email. And by the way,
anything.
here's the kid, like Eric Daughtry kid. After
Yeah.
he got called out, he admitted he got paid. That's the tweet.
Eric Doherty. This is the guy. Oh, this is this dude.
This is the same guy.
So
That
I
was
just
his
read.
That's how he acknowledged he got paid.
Yeah, that was dumb of me. Oh, wait a minute. So Nick Sorter exposes him. Exposed, influenceable. The company cutting big checks to influencers on behalf of Big Soda. Over the past 48 hours, several large, supposedly MAGA-aligned influencers posted almost identical talking points, fed to them, convincing you Maha was, it says show more. It's got Clown World. It's got our Eric Doherty here.
So he acknowledged.
And then Eric responds, yes, that was dumb of me. Massive egg on my face. In all seriousness, it won't happen again. Wow.
Good job.
Hell,
Good job, buddy. So that's just one. So like this is going on. Also, these were what these offers look like. This is a guy
right on.
who exposed one of these offers. They offer you $50 to talk about whatever the topic is. Okay. And
So this is, the name's been redacted here. Blank is still under attack by the Republican establishment and the Democrats. Another blank is a patriot and spent his career fighting for America First values and law and order. Now it's time we return the favor. Offer $50 deliverables, one original tweet on this issue, messaging, then there's a link, timeline ASAP by end of day Wednesday, July 26th. Submit after completing the deliverables. Here's the form.
so the thing is,
This is actually, I mean, I don't know if we have any of these. I think when we take another break, I'll get the emails from you and I'll just have our my people dig in.
I want to be clear, I haven't had Influenceable contact me. But because it looks like they're targeting people on the right. Now, with that being said, that I just gave you one example. This happens on the left too. Okay. So I don't want people to think I'm just going after the right, but this is happening on a large scale. And I think they're really going for people that are loud and noisy to their bases.
I mean, I don't think this isn't a new thing, and I think
It's not a new thing.
People don't. I think people think it. I mean, look, we saw what Beyonce took a big check from Kamala when supposedly she didn't during the election race, and I mean, this stuff is happening all over, but I don't think people realize that it's happening for $50.
But it's not even that, Shawn. The problem is this. Beyonce taking a check from Kamala, is it bad? Yeah. Is it wrong? Yeah. But is Beyonce pushing news and calling herself an independent journalist? No. So when these people who give shit all day to the mainstream media, which sometimes it's rightfully deserved, and claim to be the new media and are fighting the corrupt bullshit from the mainstream media, are then selling their asses for a couple $100.
Yeah.
What are they? They're just as bad.
Yeah.
If not, I would say even worse. And you know what makes me wonder? Can you imagine maybe, and I don't have proof, but like, has the mainstream media been getting offers like this for a long time? Maybe from big pharma, maybe from other companies.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, yeah. But my point is like, this is what's happening, and there's influence that's being bought, and a lot of people in this space are just, they're chasing the check. I was telling your producer, I'm in a position where I don't have to chase a check. Okay, that's rare, I think, in this field, because it's hard to make money, dude. It's not easy. I mean, starting a news outlet, a lot of people might think we get paid from Instagram. I haven't gotten a cent. Okay, Instagram doesn't pay me shit. I only get paid if people go subscribe to us. Those people are taking the deals because they don't have subscribers, and I get it. They got to make money.
What do you get? I'm just curious. I have not checked out your website.
Yeah,
I should have checked that out. I see you on the gram.
Yeah.
Whoever's behind there, I message back and forth with them.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's you.
We shoot the shit. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just curious. What do your subscribers get?
They're essentially paying for double the news.
Okay.
So what we tell people is this: like, look, we can't do this for free. I have people to pay, and you know so I have to give them something. So what I give them is a little more news as a thank you.
Gotcha.
But you know, Shawn, my goal is one day, I hope that I can get this to a level, and I haven't figured out how I would fund it, but I don't think people should have to pay for news, which is contrary to what I'm doing right now. I think information should be as openly available as possible, but I'm in a position right now where without the subscription.
I got a great idea.
Let's hear it.
I've heard Israel and Qatar are paying $7,000 a post to talk about whatever bullshit they want in the media right now.
Yeah, it's I'd be the first one to tell you I haven't gotten an offer from Israel.
And China.
We're going to get into that, yeah.
And Russia.
Yeah, so the thing is this.
And the Democrats.
They're all doing it. And you know, the thing is this, Shawn, this isn't a regulated space. And listen, I'm one of the first people to tell you, I hate when the government comes in and starts fucking with things. Okay? Because I have this view that usually when they try to help you, while they're helping you, they're stabbing you in the neck and something else is going to happen. The question is, how are we going to regulate this? And I spent a lot of nights, man. I go out every night, I sit in my jacuzzi and just look up at the stars and think about the world. I've spent so many days trying to figure out, how do we fix this without them going overboard?
Well, let's go through the rest of the let's go through the rest of the influence, and then we'll come up with
let's get into some foreign stuff, some foreign influence.
Dude, this is really bothering me. This foreign influence shit.
It's bad.
With Middle Eastern countries,
Yeah.
Israel, Qatar, Saudi, China, Russia, like
Everybody. They're weaponizing.
what is going on?
Yeah. So,
What is going on?
So today I'm coming here, and part of the thing we're going to talk about, I have been contacted by foreign governments, either directly or indirectly, to do news stories in their countries or to post news like how those guys were, right? But either about topics in their countries or them just wanting for us to go to their country and show something to our audience. Now,
Oh yeah, we've had that too.
we've had, see, I'm sure you have.
You know what? You know what's interesting though is, and we tried to get the PM of Qatar really hard. Like we were talking to him, we were in there. They weren't going to pay us shit. I wouldn't take payment anyways.
Right.
But they wouldn't let us fucking do it. We tried to sync it up with when we went to Taiwan. We thought it'd be a great, pit stop on the way home, hit Qatar, but they didn't go for it.
Why? Did they tell you why? Or they just didn't respond?
I can't remember. It was, it was.
So we've had foreign governments literally reach out to us. Like when I say reach out to us, there's one I'm going to show you an example of today, and then there's one that we'll get into. This was a DM we got on Instagram from the UK government.
Do you mind if I read it?
Read the whole thing.
UK Home Office. Hi, team. Hope you're well. The Home Office are currently looking to partner with trusted outlets and pages such as yourselves to increase awareness around the vital work the government and law enforcement are undertaking to keep the public safe from crime. This is the UK. As a result, we're looking to explore new collaborative opportunities to create authentic digital content with partners. If you feel appropriate, it would be great to discuss this in further detail over email or call if you're able to provide the best point of contact. Many thanks, Fatma, social media team, and Home Office.
So that was a DM, right? And I couldn't believe how brazy that was. I'm like, they literally DM'd me off of the UK Home Office's Instagram. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So I told Trey, who works for me, I said, Trey, I can't believe this. Just entertain it. Get it in an email. I want to know more. So Trey, being the wizard he is, right? He starts contacting her, and we got her to an email. This is her .gov.uk email.
I can't wait to read this shit. UK, where people are getting their heads cut off with
read the
steak knives on bridges. Hey, hi, Trey. This is Fat Mom following up on the chat on Instagram. You've asked for more information on what our collab could look like. We basically work in different policy areas with topic you might be interested in talking about. These include crime and policing, migration, homeland security, and tackling violence against women and girls. Oh, because this must have been right after that one.
So pause. This is the biggest issues in the UK right now that people are pissed about, that there's a lot of division over: migration, illegal migration, violence against women. Those protests have been all cooking over this. And also the crime. So what's interesting is this woman.
Can I finish reading this?
Go.
I've outlined below what we would be able to give you access to, and more broadly, what working together could look like. Ministerial access, exclusive interviews and sit-downs with our ministers, exclusive clips, Home Office, digital lobby. Offer you embargoed press notices, operational footage, exclusive digital clips, a chance to cover a Home Office breaking story as news breaks, access to trusted voices. We could potentially look at setting up exclusive interviews with trusted voices. We regularly take media on operational opportunities to cover a breaking story. For example, this includes immigration enforcement raids, illegal working, police raids, case studies, and influencers. Offer access to influencers we work with in our policy areas or be a part of our work with them. Offer access to case studies. This also is not an exhaustive list. We're always looking for new opportunities to collaborate. Let me know if you have any questions. Do they offer you any money?
We didn't get that far. That was the last email. I just wanted it on email.
Okay.
But my brother who works for me, and I don't know, they said that they have a screen they could put it up. Mm-hmm. He did some digging. So it turns out that lady, Fatima, works for a migration organization that promotes people migrating. And I don't know do you have a screen? Is that a thing?
They'll
okay. Yeah, so
they'll throw it up.
I could find it, but essentially, I'd like to read it to you. So she works for a company apparently called Migration Jam. And Migration Jam is a migrant-led collective utilizing the power of ethical storytelling and intercommunal dialogue to counter the mainstream negative narratives about migrants and refugees. She also works for the UK government. Okay, that's her. This is on Google. You can go look her up. And she, it says that she's a Yemeni entrepreneur, whatever. My point is this. She's contacting us to potentially go to the UK to do a story. Okay. Some people might not have a concern about that. I think that's morally wrong for a foreign government, whether it's an ally or an adversary, to reach out to a news outlet and not only say, we want you to come here and do a story, but here's the topics we think you should talk about, which are the big issues right now in the UK that are being talked about in the US right now. You have to ask yourself, why would the UK want to target an Instagram account that's US based, that has almost 1.6 million followers, to talk about the UK's problems?
It is interesting, isn't it? Why do they give a shit about the narrative? I mean, are there, you know, maybe a little out of scope here, but I mean, I don't see much pushback from the citizens of UK. Do you?
I have. There's been protests. Have you seen the protests? They're getting
I
pretty.
did see one protest. I can't remember what it was about.
There's people getting pissed off there.
I mean, we had this guy, this totally, I wouldn't say it's irrelevant, but just an example. We had this guy, Jay Callon. They are basically, he was an SAS guy over there. They're like charging him with fucking murder or some shit like that from like past war crimes. Ridiculous. We met him in Dubai and got his story out and I mean, they're railroading these guys. They're, you know, so basically, here's the gist of it. Obviously, the Muslim demographic in UK has risen exponentially. Correct?
Yeah, true.
I think everybody pretty much knows that.
True.
You know, now what's happening is they are trying their military members, and more specifically, their special operations guys, for war crimes against Muslims. But it's just the shit that they asked their guys to do. And now they're prosecuting them, or they're trying to prosecute them.
For orders they were given?
Yes. Yes. Wow. And you know what? So we did this, and this is happening to all kinds of guys. None of these guys want to fucking speak up. To be honest with you, I almost didn't do this interview because these guys don't want to talk. So we had to have a long talk with Jay and say, hey, like, you're going to have to, like, get articulate here and be specific on what's going on. None of this, you know, vagueness. And he promised me we would do it. So he did it. You know, I've not seen one fucking SAS guy stand up for this dude. Not fucking one. And I've talked to several of them, and they all tell me, oh, yeah, that's fucked up what's going on. I can't believe this shit. This is happening to everybody. So it's not like he's like, you know, a turd and nobody wants to help him. They are too fucking scared to speak up for their own rights and their own freedom. It's in these fucking pains me to say that these are the most badass people that the UK has to offer. It's their SBS, SAS, and they'll DM you and they'll tell you how fucked up it is that they're doing it, what they're doing to Jay, but they won't say a fucking word in public.
Yeah.
So what hope do they have? And these are fucking tier 1 operators scared
toughest
to
guys.
back their own fucking guy. You know what their motto is? He who dares wins.
Wow.
What a fucking joke that is.
It's that powerful.
The institution there is that powerful.
Yeah. And I mean, look, if
not one fucking guy.
Yeah.
Not one fucking guy came out and spoke on his behalf, said anything. Nothing. Not a fucking peep. So what hope do they have?
Tells you how fucked it is.
None. I have no hope.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? The most violent, badass individuals that you have in your entire country are too fucking scared to speak up for their own. What? What? That's not how you create change.
No. It's sad.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. It's good that you said that. But like, so this is, some people might watch this and say, well, this is an ally that's just wanting to do this. I don't give a fuck. This is totally unacceptable. Let me tell you something. If it's okay for them to do it, is it okay for China to do it? Is it okay for Russia to do it? Is it okay for Qatar to do it? Is it okay for Israel to do it?
Why do you think, I mean, just UK specifically, why do you think they give a shit? I mean, their citizens aren't rising up. Maybe, okay, they did a protest.
I wouldn't say they're rising up, but there is definitely right now a wave being created because there are some people that are pissed off and there are some protests that are getting bigger. And there's a big push around Nigel Farage. That'd be an interesting person for you to talk to, actually. There's people in the UK that aren't happy. People are getting locked up. Have you heard about, and I'm not well versed in it, but there's this big online debate that the UK is now arresting people for speech.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
There was a comedian that got arrested and tied up in it, and Joe Rogan was speaking pretty passionately about it. I think what they're arresting them for is inciting violence. I think that's the terminology. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous road you're going down. And going back to that email, it's very interesting how they were very specific about certain topics that are big issues in the UK right now, and they want to portray it to Americans. The question is, like you said, why do they want Americans to know?
Why do they care? Why do they care what we think?
Interesting. There's been people in the US that have been openly talking about the problems in the UK. Elon Musk has brought it up a couple times. Donald Trump's been asked about it with Keir Starmer, the prime minister, next to him, and he says, well, we'll have to look into that, or I hope that's not true, or, So it's coming up. So I would assume they're trying to somehow control the narrative in the US to pipe it down, maybe, or to show that it's not as bad as it's being portrayed, or I don't know.
What do you think the motivation is, though? I mean, they have no problem talking shit about the US pretty much nonstop. I mean, you go to Europe, they all fucking hate us. Not all of them, but a lot of them, they can't stand us. So what do they give a shit?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what because I don't know. And maybe she can come on and tell you. It'd be great if they'd show up.
Well, we got her email now.
Yeah, now ask her. And this is going to start a lot of shit, man. I haven't been to London yet. I wanted to go to London and walk around. That's gone, but I don't know. I don't know why. But take that example and let me give you some others that I've dealt with too.
Oh, I'd love to hear this.
Now, these ones I can't show you, and I'll explain to you why. This was a direct reach out by the UK government. At the end of her email, she says, I can't share it. If she wants to sue me, let's go. If the UK government's going to sue me, that's a badge of honor for me. Okay? So fuck it. Come get me. The other ones that we've had reach out to us, they come not through the government directly, but what they do is they use US-based influencer marketing companies. Like, for example, Influenceable. I'm not saying, I want to be really clear, I'm not saying that that's happening with them, but a company like that, that has these online campaigns. This is going to blow your mind. Around December of last year, we got contacted by a US-based influence marketing company that offered us $25,000 and the potential to make up to $40,000 to do a story. First, they said it's in a country, very broad. They said it would be
we're in a country. Shit.
Yeah, it's a story in a foreign country. You would get $25,000 to go. They cover your flights. There was a stipend related to hotels. You know, it was very, and the topics that were going to be discussed, you would talk about infrastructure of this place. You would talk about daily life, and you would talk about, you know, just the history of where you were going. I said, sounds interesting. $25,000. Where the fuck is this? You have to sign this NDA.
You have to sign an NDA before they even
That's
fucking
how
tell
these
you what it is.
guys, well, you sign 2 NDAs. The first NDA you sign is to even talk to them. Okay. Because they don't want to be exposed. And then they say, if you're interested in this, we'd have to disclose to you some information, sign this too. So I signed 2. I'm going to break one of them here, but I can't break who the US based company is because I know they'll sue me. We got contacted by the Communist Youth League of China.
The Communist Youth League of China.
Yes. That's what we were told who they were. Okay. Now, what is that? It's very interesting. And it's to this day, Shawn, it doesn't even make sense to me because how I understand what the Communist Youth League of China is it's like a incubator to create new Chinese leaders in China. So it's very bizarre to me that that's who they said this was for. But this influence marketing company said, long story short, we want you to go to China, specific city. I can't even pronounce it right. It's like Chongqing, China. Okay. Go there and you're going to talk about infrastructure. You're going to talk about daily life in China, and you're going to give some history about China. $25,000 to go, up to $40,000 based on the views that you generate from your content. So here's the thing, 2 things. I would never go to China because you said you followed us during COVID. You probably remember we were posting all the videos out of China when they were locking people down. I have a feeling if I arrived in China, the second I get off that plane, I'm going to be in some shit. Seriously. I'm confident that
This is a great ransom tool also, by the way. It'd be a great scam. If you can get fucking influencers to do this shit for $50, like that one email I just read, I mean,
25,000.
great way. Human trafficking. Done. Easy lure.
Exactly. So, and like I told you, I'm not motivated by money, but this was so mind-blowing to me, I wanted to know more. So I entertained it a little bit. And it came down to the point where this marketing agency that's based in the US was like, you guys need to make a move on this now because there's a lot of people that are getting this offer and you either go or you don't. And I said, no, fuck you. I'm not doing this. Everybody that's watching this, go on Instagram right now and type in Chongqing, China.
Do you know how to spell it?
I don't, but I think I have it saved in my notes.
Yeah, I realize why you can't just say it, but it is. Just type it in and you see it right off. You see it right off the bat.
There are shitloads, Shawn, of videos talking about the infrastructure in Chongqing, China, or however the fuck you say it. And I want to be very clear. This is from my lawyer. I can't prove these people took that deal, but everything a lot of them talk about is what I was told to talk about. And it makes me wonder, there's a couple questions to that. Why does the Chinese government want people in America to know about a city? Why do they want people to know about the Chinese infrastructure? Why do they want people to know about daily life in this city? Your guess is as good as mine. But
They need Chinese sympathizers inside this country. That's why.
or are they trying to tell people that what you've been told about China and America is not true? For example, something that I noticed, like we have on our Instagram, our comment section is pretty notorious. I don't know if you ever read our comments, but they're fucking hilarious. Great shout out to the comment section. But there are sometimes when we're talking about China, something that I constantly see, and I'm not saying it's true or not true, is people will downplay China's advancements. That Chinese jet is shit. You know, it's a copy of an American one, or they make shit, or this and that. And I've been thinking about this. Why did they want this? And maybe what they're trying to do is they're trying to get at that narrative that everything in China is just a ripoff of the U.S. and it's shit. China makes shitty products. You know, and these videos of this city will blow your mind. I don't know any American city that looks like it. They got one of the guys, they got fucking trains going through buildings and roads are moving and the infrastructure looks crazy. And I don't know what, but I don't know the reason why they want that, why they want Americans to see that. And what scares me more, Shawn, I've given you 2 examples of foreign governments coming to me either directly or indirectly. What else are they doing? What else are they doing to other news influencers? What are they pushing? There was another perfect example, Tenet Media. Did you ever hear about that?
No, I don't think so.
Just to synopsize it really quick, under Biden's DOJ, they busted this company that was paying influencers to push pro-Russian talking points about the war in Ukraine, paying people millions of dollars. Millions. But same thing. What did Russia do? Did Russia go straight to the influencer? No. They used these
Marketing
U.S.-based brokers that are the in-between, and they're going. I think the case is still going on. The chick who's in it, she's fucked. And she was in on it, allegedly. I mean, it hasn't been proven yet. And they were paying these influencers millions of dollars. Now, to these influencers, like Tim Pool was named in it. Benny Johnson was tied up.
Oh, I do remember this now.
Yeah. Okay.
I do remember this.
So listen, though. To their argument, they're saying, well, we didn't know that the Russian government was doing this to us. If you believe that, which maybe that's true, maybe it's not true, it could make sense that they wouldn't know. Because why would the Russian government, you were in the CIA, why would the Russian government want influencers to know that they're being paid by them to talk shit on Ukraine? These guys are already so loud. They can't keep their mouths shut. Right? So I actually would maybe believe it, that they had no idea. And none of them were actually charged under Biden's DOJ.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's talk. I haven't seen it directly to me yet. There's a lot of in the news that Israel is paying influencers. I do know that it's a fact that one of Donald Trump's former campaign advisors is listed now as a foreign agent on FARA. And he is working with Israel to, and this is all, you can Google it and read about it, to change the narrative about Israel online. And they're paying influencers. Now, there's talk, it's $7,000. I don't know, you've probably heard it. I haven't seen the $7,000. I would be happy to show you today if I got it. But I do know that they're paying influencers to push back on rhetoric related to the war in Gaza and Israel's image. And this gets to really the crux of the problem. This shouldn't be allowed. Okay? And it gets back to what I was saying. If the rise of independent media is supposed to not be what the mainstream media is, then we're all doing an awful job. Because I would argue, Shawn, that this is worse. And what scares me is that, look, the only way this country is going to fall is one of 2 ways. Okay? We're either going to fall because of a nuclear apocalypse that's going to kill us all, or from within. And if these people can weaponize influence and create division, right, and are trying to shift narratives and opinions, that could be very easily weaponized against you and me.
Oh, we're already falling, man.
I know.
Like, make no mistake.
But I hate to say that because you know how sad that is.
It's fucking horrible because we are the only light in the world that represents any freedom at all.
It's sad.
Really, we're not even we're not even that free, but we're freer than everybody else in the world, right?
And I think these people are lighting that fire faster.
If we go, I don't think that I don't know who's pulling the strings on all this shit.
Yeah.
Got some ideas. I think it's a group of different foreign governments, not necessarily convoluting with each other, all for their for their specific purposes. But they are dividing every way they can, and we're doing it ourselves too. I mean, the right and the left are doing a great job at dividing this fucking country. That's obvious. We don't even really need the foreign influence, but what people don't understand, I don't think, is that nobody's coming in here. Nobody's coming in here to conquer us. Nobody's coming in here to save us. Maybe the cartels, you know what I mean, or maybe spies here and there, but it's not going to be like a invasion or something like that.
It's going to be from within.
But the purpose of dividing us, I mean, we're seeing obviously a huge rise in political violence. But if this kicks off, let's say we go into a civil war or something, this will make the shit that I've seen in Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, all over the Middle East, it'll look like child's play. But there are so many fucking guns in this country.
Yeah.
So many people that are trained how to use them, stockpiling ammunition, stockpiling weapons, stockpiling. I mean, there are more guns here than anywhere else in the world.
Good people.
And people that know how to use them.
Yeah.
If you can divide this country enough just to get people at each other in a violent, like an actual violent, I'm not talking about this bullshit BLM, Antifa, shit, which was horrible.
Yeah.
But if you can pit everybody against each other, this will be the most dangerous place in the world by a long shot. There isn't even a government that could infiltrate it because it will become so fucking dangerous.
Why do you think
and we will just have to live in it, and then people won't even have to think about America. We'll have so many issues, killing each other, record numbers. I mean, it's just.
Why do you think that? Because I think it's a multitude of things that are dividing us. It's the government, it's our lawmakers, it's the media. But why do you think that our lawmakers are still doing it if they know this? We're not geniuses. We're sitting here and we're just looking at it, right? The rhetoric.
I mean, a lot of these lawmakers aren't that fucking smart. I think a lot of people give them a lot more credit than they're due. But I mean, there are some
special ones.
They're just not that sharp.
Yeah.
They're not that sharp, and some of the ones that I see getting in there especially the younger ones, I mean, I think that they are selected because they are very easy to manipulate. Won't even realize they're being manipulated.
Yeah. And it's funny, the reason why I pulled this out, I printed out some news articles for you where the media, both independent and the old school mainstream media, are dividing this country. And I wanted to read you these titles. This is from Fox News. This is a title, not an opinion piece. Mm-hmm. Liberal journalists, Democrats bitterly seek to discredit Trump's Bronx rally. Call it fake and made up. Okay, whatever. Let's read this. Here's an article from CNN. Or excuse me, this is MSNBC. Trump is threatening to declare war on the American people. Literally. That's a title. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's better.
You mean the only thing that people actually read? That headline?
So listen. This is, I believe this is CNN. Yeah, it's CNN. The U.S. economy has a new problem. Democracy is under siege. And this goes to show, like, what the fuck are we doing? Mm-hmm. What are you trying to do? People read that and
that's all they read.
Right, because they get stuck in their echo
I would
chambers.
bet the vast majority of people in this country do not read past the headline.
They
Maybe
all
a few sentences.
They all lie. This is something I wanted to show you too. This is actually great. Do you remember when Joe Rogan went on during COVID and CNN aired his face?
Yeah, oh, you're talking about the ivermectin thing where they like made his face yellow.
And this is literally, and to this day they deny that they did it.
I know.
They still deny, but like this is my point, and this kind of all correlates to each other. They have so much influence over all of us, and a picture, a title, a color can influence somebody. I even recognize for myself, I can influence my audience very easily. I think what makes me different from a lot of other people is I'm level-headed and I'm sick of it all. I hate to use the word hate, Shawn. I'm sick of the left and I'm sick of the right because I see through it all. I have this analogy I tell people, every 4 years, we elect a new government, right? Essentially, we get a new president. And then some new lawmakers come in, and the House will either go Democrat or Republican. I want you to picture a car rolling down a road. Every 4 years, we pick who drives. It's either the left or the right. There's only two types of people that can drive the car. If we elect somebody to the left with a left government, the car is still going to go down that road, but it's going to lean a little to the left. If we elect somebody on the right, car is going to still stay down that road, but it's going to lean a little to the right. The reality is that no matter who's in office, the status quo continues. People in this country are hungry for change, Shawn.
Oh yeah, I mean we're talking about foreign influence. I mean, have you seen that APAC advertisement?
Yeah.
Pull that shit up. It's pinned to the top of their X profile. You think that's helping anybody?
Oh, man. I know. It's crazy. All of this shit.
We'll
dude.
overlay it on the screen right now.
Yeah. It's my point, though.
That's fucking propaganda right there.
Yeah. But the thing is and now, so listen, you're going to get shit for that right now.
I don't care.
No, but so listen, you're going to get shit because now people are going to say you're anti-Israel. But the thing is it's not just Israel, it's everybody. They're all doing it. But what they do is they hound in on the one person talking about one. Okay. I'm at the point where it's fuck them all. None of them should be able to do this. This isn't right. And the question is, how do we regulate this? What do we do? And listen, I told you, I'm not one for new laws and regulating press. And trust me, I don't want that. Because every time we try to do something, we end up usually going too far. But this shit can't continue. The influence can't continue. And our founding fathers, geniuses, when they found this country, right? The Constitution, amazing to think of that back then. The problem is they didn't think about fucking Meta. They didn't know Instagram. They didn't know how it could be weaponized. They were thinking in the moment. And the problem is we're so fucking divided now that there's no way that I see that we can address all these things without.
I think about this all the time. And the only conclusion that I've come to is you have to just lead by example. You have to show that you can have a fucking conversation with somebody that you disagree with, and it can be a cordial, nice conversation.
Yeah.
And I have a perfect example of this. I brought Gavin Newsom on, about 2 or 3 months ago. Got obliterated by my audience. They were so fucking angry that I had him on.
Gave him the
right?
gun.
I don't agree with much of anything that guy says, but we had a nice, cordial conversation. It was a great experience, and and when I took that interview, I wanted to show, hey, we don't have to fucking hate each other just because we disagree on everything. I think a lot of the things that I've seen going on in California, you live there. I don't go there because, but I think that a lot of the things that have happened there are disgusting. But I wanted to show that I can have a conversation with somebody that I don't agree with, and I don't have to hate them the entire time. And I want to, you know what fucking came of this? We had a awesome discussion about psychedelic therapy and what it's doing for veterans. Traumatic brain injury, PTSD, addiction, all this stuff. We had a great discussion about that on the show. Yesterday, Gavin Newsom just signed a fucking bill in California that is pro psychedelic therapy. I literally just saw it right before I came down here for the interview between me and you. I haven't even read the whole thing yet, but I texted him and I said, "Man, this is really good to see. Thank you." And he said, big part of that was that discussion we had on your podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying here is you have to lead by example, because we can't penalize people. That's an infringement on free speech. That's an infringement on capitalistic society. Right. All you can do is be the person to set the example. And that's what I wanted to do with that interview, is set an example. And look, I set an example. Everybody fucking hated me for it. But look, now there's policy that's happening that's benefiting people that are struggling with traumatic brain injury, PTSD, are veterans, rape victims, addicts. Addiction is obviously a fucking massive problem in California right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way to solve the opioid, fentanyl, heroin epidemic is through psychedelics. And look, it's coming to fruition.
Right.
3 months later, after two people that are on complete opposite sides of the spectrum have a discussion, and he's implementing that in his state. That is fucking cool. Yeah. That's how you fucking make change.
Yeah, and all those people giving you shit, you know what? I would tend to argue they're stuck in those echo chambers.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. And you know what? Get out. Go listen to something else. Go challenge your thoughts. Because if you get stuck in these chambers, you're just festering in the shit, and you might miss something. Also, too, it goes back to what I said. We got to get back to the place where we're treating Americans like Americans again. You might not agree with Gavin Newsom, right? But guess what? You were able to sit here and talk to him as a neighbor. And we got to get back to that. We have to, because if we don't, like you said, it's going to get nasty. And it's the conversation nobody wants to have, but it's true. Like, we can't allow this to keep cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any ideas?
I've had one idea, but how do we it goes more into how do we break this two-party system of bullshit.
Attraction is better than promotion.
I've had one idea and it could work, but then I see issues coming after that. I think we need somebody to run for office that picks a running mate that doesn't agree with them. But
I don't see that happening.
But
they don't have to come as a complete surprise.
Like, Shawn.
Because the RNC or the DNC.
We take a Republican and we take a Democrat and we put them together. And the one thing, they might not agree on everything. But that's the whole point of our government. You have to compromise. Okay.
Well, I'm with you here.
And if we took a Republican and a Democrat that could run together as just Americans, not as red, not as blue, as red, white, and blue. And we got them out there, and they worked under the common goal of just making things better and finding that middle ground and treating each other like human beings, not as enemies, which both sides do. That's the only thing I could see fixing it. But then the next issue is, well, now you have Congress and the Senate is controlled by Republicans and Democrats. All it takes is a bunch of them to agree on something and impeach your ass. And something I find interesting is both sides will unify on things. Like right now, a couple of things. Where's the stock trading ban? Why haven't we had that?
Oh, well, I think we all know why we don't have
You know why. It's because it goes back to my thing. They're two sides of the same coin. How long have we been hearing that someone was going to take care of our debt? We're $37 fucking trillion in debt, Shawn. Does it even matter anymore? I mean, fuck it. They're just going.
Yeah.
It's the constant shit, and it never changes. And every 4 years we hear something else. You know, most recently, the most disappointing thing that I've seen from my audience right now, where they are disappointed. This whole Epstein file thing. You had Kash Patel sitting in this chair.
Are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Remember that?
A hoax.
What? Yeah, we're still fucking talking about it.
What do you think about that? I have an interesting take, but I want to hear yours.
I mean, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I mean, what do I think? I think a lot of things.
Why do you think right now they're not? I mean, it's you don't have to be a Democrat or Republican to reveal that they're not being transparent.
I think they have botched this so bad that unless it aligns with the wildest conspiracy theory out there, nobody's going to fucking believe it.
Exactly.
Why haven't you just released it? Just release it. Just fucking release it. Like, what was the last thing? The DOJ is not going to listen to Maxwell at all, or they're not even going to, like, I've heard all kinds of things. But
look, our government's been lying to us for decades, man, about everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like the boy that cried wolf. You lie once, lie twice, lie 3 times. Eventually you start not believing somebody. And they've done this to themselves. We DM'd about this recently. You had a comment on my page. You said that, this is decades of the government lying. I think what's happened with this whole Epstein thing, I think there are parts of it that are true. I don't doubt that he trafficked women and there are people involved, and not even women, girls, teenagers, disgusting shit. But I often wonder, has the theories that are out there, have some of them been cooked up by maybe a foreign government that wants to sow more distrust?
It's definitely possible.
In the government. And then the question is this: we're all expecting all these big names to be in it. And what if that's not, what if our expectations are here and what we believe, what's actually there is here? Mm-hmm. And if they release it now, are you going to believe it?
No, I'm not. I don't know anybody that would believe it.
Right. They totally fucked it up.
They've botched it so fucking bad from the very beginning when the influencers went to the White House holding up the binders like it's some type of a trophy. Like, look at me. I'm in with the administration. Well, buddy, the administration just discredited your entire fucking career.
Yeah.
Good job. And but not only that, then it was the comments. Are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Yes, we are still talking about Jeffrey Epstein because you ran half your fucking campaign off getting these files released. Of course, we're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Then fast forward, then there was the footage. They released the footage, but there's a blip. And it's like, dude, are you fucking serious? Are you shitting me? And you're going to release footage with its missing fucking time? Like,
yeah.
Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
I know. And you know what's crazy? This goes back to, remember I told you about the Russian saying that he was concerned for me and he was talking about my reality in a different way? I often wonder, this is the stuff he was talking about, this kind of shit. This is the kind of shit we're told that happens in Russia, where there's minutes missing or people falling out of windows and people dying and all this crazy shit. And it's right in front of us. Like, you're right. We're missing a minute. This guy allegedly commits suicide in a maximum security prison. They don't have first, I thought at one point we didn't even have tapes. Tapes start showing up. But now, like, there's so many issues. The Bureau of Prisons report that they released is contradicting itself now based on the video that we've now seen. I mean, like, and even to this day, the thing that really drives me nuts is like, we have people in the FBI now that previously talked about getting to the bottom of this and being transparent and being real. You had Kash Patel sit here.
Oh, I know. I'm very aware.
And like, look what they're saying. And it goes back to the same thing. It's like, man, dude, this is, and what's crazy too is the Democrats are riding this. They're saying, look, we want the Epstein files. You know what? And the question to them is, where were you 4 years ago? You guys were in charge.
Yeah.
But the shitty part is, Shawn, now it's being weaponized on all sides.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants to figure it out. And here's the reality. There's a bunch of young children, teenagers, that got tied up into this shit. Mm-hmm. And it's now just being used as political points and baggage. When people just
They're mysteriously dying now, too. I mean, one just got smacked with a bus. One of the victims, right? Just got smacked, killed with a bus.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, like, what the fuck?
So, I think of course, nobody's going to believe it unless, that's why I said
nobody. That's why they're screwed.
Unless it aligns with the wildest conspiracy out there. But I mean, I don't know. What do you think it was? I look at it. I've interviewed Nick Bryan a couple of times. I've talked to, Buck Sexton about it. I mean,
the biggest thing that I see on the internet is that people are saying that Epstein had ties to the Mossad and all this shit.
Looks pretty likely.
I've often wondered, and I'm not doubting that, but I've often asked myself, is this even bigger than that? And you know this, you were in the CIA. The CIA cannot target American citizens, right? You're not allowed to touch Americans, whether it's gaining intelligence on them or whatever. It has to go through with other agencies, and there's a whole process. I've often asked myself if maybe this was a broader operation between a bunch of foreign intelligence agencies, maybe like the Five Eyes, for example, something like that, where a bunch of intel agencies were working together, maybe to unfortunately compromise lawmakers in their countries and abroad, so that could be used as weight to get people to vote a certain way or approve funding for certain programs. Mm-hmm. And so you can't, a U.S. agency can't touch a U.S. lawmaker, but one from the U.K. can. Israel can. I mean, I've thought
this is such a thorn in this administration's side that if it was,
it's not going away, too.
If it was kind of what you're saying, what if it was down here? What if everybody's expecting this? What if I don't know. I could see that, but at the other hand, it's like this has become such a problem. I think it's jeopardized the midterms. I think it'll jeopardize the next election for the Republicans.
For sure.
I think that this could. I think the Republican Party will pay dearly for how this has been handled. But there is a way to make it right. Just fucking release them, and if it's not that bad, just fucking release it. But
you got to wonder what it is. It's got to be so bad that they're willing to literally. I mean, like I watched Kash Patel at that FBI hearing. I thought to myself, what did he say to himself when he got home that night and closed the door? Because fuck, dude, he's just sitting there, and the thing is, he was acting the same way as the previous directors and how they were all deceiving, and they just, they don't even answer questions, and they dance around everything, and it goes back to my same point. It's like, it's the same bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's all day.
Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about some of these bot farms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, folks, our friends at Tractor Supply have always stood for community, for neighbors helping neighbors, and for the people who keep life out here moving forward. And at the heart of every community are the heroes who serve, the veterans, active duty military, first responders, and the families who stand beside them. These are the folks who answer the call, who protect, who sacrifice. And Tractor Supply believes that deserves more than just a thank you. That's why they created the Hometown Heroes program. It's their way of giving back in meaningful, everyday ways. As a hometown hero, you'll enjoy special perks through Neighbors Club, like earning rewards on every purchase, free trailer rentals and delivery, and exclusive savings on holidays that honor your service. And the best part? Once you sign up and verify through ID.me, it's automatic. No hoops, no hassles. So if you or someone you love is a hometown hero, visit tractorsupply.com/hometownheroes to learn more. It's Tractor Supply's way of standing behind those who always stand for us. My days don't slow down. Between work, the gym, and time with the kids, I need eyewear that can keep up with everything I've got going on. And that's why I trust Roka. I've tried plenty of shades before, but these stand out. They're built for performance without sacrificing style. I've put them through it all, on the range, out on the water, and off-road. They don't quit. They're lightweight, stay locked in place, and are tough enough to handle whatever I throw at them. And the best part? They don't just perform, they look incredible. Sleek, modern, and designed for people who expect more from their eyewear. No fluff, no gimmicks, just premium frames that deliver every single time. And that's why Roka is what I grab when I'm heading out the door. Born in Austin, Texas, they're American designed with zero shortcuts. Razor sharp optics, no glare, and all-day comfort that doesn't quit. And if you need prescription lenses, they've got you covered with both sunglasses and eyeglasses. One brand, all your bases. Roka isn't just eyewear, it's confidence you can wear every day. They're the real deal. Ready to upgrade your eyewear? Check them out for yourself at Roka.com and use code SRS for 20% off site-wide at checkout. That's ROKA.com. All right, John, we're back from the break. I wanted to get into some of this bot stuff. I saw, some stuff in the outline. This has to do with OnlyFans.
So it's interesting. For people that don't know, bots are accounts, whether it's on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. They're accounts that are not real people that might comment something. And there's usually three motives behind what they're commenting. The first type of bots, the most common ones that we see today, are they're the OnlyFans porn bots that are trying to they'll comment on a post and try to hope that somebody sees that and gets horny and goes to that site, right? So that's the first one. Those are nefarious, nothing bad, not too nefarious. The second type of bot, which we've been seeing, is bots that will pop up and they'll comment about an unfortunate situation. Maybe they're in a war zone. Most common one I've been seeing recently is people will claim they're in Gaza and they'll have a GoFundMe and they'll say, please help me. My family is dying in Gaza. Click my page and go to my GoFundMe. And you click these accounts, and depending on the level of sophistication of the bot, it clearly will either look like a fake page or they look really real. So, and then there's the next level of bot, which is the one that I'm concerned about. And these are bots that comment about topics, news. So internally, and I've never talked about this ever. Let's say, for example, we post a news article on Instagram, and right when we hit post, there will be 4 or 5 comments. Right after I hit refresh, 4 or 5 paragraph article with a headline. I hit refresh, it's 3 seconds. There's a 2-sentence comment about that topic. Shawn, that's humanly impossible. So the question is, what are they trying to do? We have restricted on our Instagram approximately 1,000 accounts. Restricting means if we find somebody to comment something so fast, and we're not talking a word, I'm talking sentences within a second or two, that means you're a bot.
Yeah.
There's something that's not genuine about you. And we've got about 1,000 accounts over the three years that we started doing that. And what scares the shit out of me, Shawn, is when I look at those accounts, some of them clearly look fake. I have found accounts, Shawn, that look like real fucking people. To the point where, a perfect example, we had an article about the war in Ukraine, and it was giving both sides of Russia and Ukraine. And this guy comments 3 sentences within, I'm talking seconds, about how Ukraine, something about Nazis in Ukraine or whatever. And I'm like, this is humanly impossible. Click his profile, look at him. He's tagging his wife in pictures. Click his wife. His wife has an account, 600 followers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
These are sophisticated bot networks that have been set up by foreign actors. And this isn't new, okay? But a lot of people don't realize this. Like every couple months, Meta will come out, or Microsoft does these reports where they'll say, we identified all these bot networks, and then they start shutting them down, or Meta will announce they took down 5,000 accounts or whatever. But people don't understand the scale of it. So you might read a news article, you might read a headline, and then instead of reading the article, you just go to the comments to see what people are saying. They're trying to influence how you think in a comment. Now, the crazy thing is you might be arguing with somebody that's not even real.
Yep.
And they're gaslighting you. You were talking about that you got shit for having Gavin Newsom on here. I wonder how many of those people were just maybe not real people that were just trying to divide. I'm not saying they all were.
There's a ton of them.
Yeah. And what they do is they're trying to stir up shit. The funny thing, because we've restricted some accounts, we'll have, and I'll show you how it looks, but it's basically, I can see their comment, but nobody else can see it, and I have to approve to allow it. We've had other bot accounts comment on our post, tagging, like as if they're responding to you. So it'd be like at Shawn Ryan 762, right? But they can't see that original comment. So it just came up as a populated response to nothing. So it tells me that's a bot too. So
You're saying that they are responding to the bot that's restricted, that they wouldn't be able to see?
Yes.
Holy shit.
But they don't, because it's all automated. I don't know if you've seen those videos, and I'll send you them. There's like literally fucking rooms full of phones.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen them. And I don't understand exactly how they are working.
I don't understand
without somebody behind the actual device.
Well, I think it's an AI.
I would assume.
Yeah. I don't know the
Did you see that one in New York recently? You guys covered that, I think.
It wasn't bots. That was somebody
like some
trying to take down cell towers.
Some communication disruptor or something.
That's fucking crazy.
How many phones was it?
It wasn't actual phones. They had some sort of system that allowed them to duplicate like 100,000 phone numbers in some way. I don't know if it was duplicate or they could mimic 100,000 phone calls. And what their idea was is they were gonna
shut down Manhattan's communications.
That's fucking crazy. And let me tell you something. That's not some little gang or a cartel. That is somebody trying to do some shit.
That's a foreign adversary.
100%. And you know what? We haven't heard a thing about that.
Of course we haven't.
Yeah. Not a word. Makes you wonder, like, I mean, I hate to talk about shit like this, but I don't think people realize like how vulnerable our daily life is to shit like that.
Oh man.
The power grid.
Yeah.
You know, like we're going off a little tangent here, but China's been embedding in U.S. critical infrastructure for decades. Something I love to do, and I encourage everybody to do it, is I really watch these hearings with these top generals on Capitol Hill. I watch them religiously every second because you kind of get an idea as to what's going on. And there was a general who went up that said that how they view it is China has been embedding themselves in U.S. critical infrastructure with the goal of that if there was ever a conflict to break out, it would slow a U.S. response down because it would create chaos within, because everybody's dependent on all this shit, you know? And goes back to what we were talking about earlier, which was Nobody trusts anybody. You know, it's sad. It's because, dude, most people just want to just grow up. Sorry, I get emotional because it sucks. Most people just want to raise a family and live,
Yeah.
but you can't.
It's sad, man.
It is. And it's not just, I want to be clear, it's not just Americans, the world. You think people in the Middle East want this shit that's going on right now? People just want to live.
Yeah.
But what we've got, I tell my friends this, it's, you've got 9 countries, 8 or 9, that sit at a table, big long table. And everybody that sits at that table is a country that has a gun. What do I mean by that? Those are countries that have nuclear weapons. Okay? The 9 countries: China, North Korea, Russia, India, Pakistan, the UK, France, the United States, and the one that everyone, we don't know, is Israel. I think they have one. Those people think of it as a person, the country. Sit at this table. Some have the gun on the table to show it off. Some have it holstered. The ones that scare me, Shawn, are the ones that have their hands under the table. You know why? Because you don't know if I'm pointing a gun at you. With everything that's going on in this world right now, the stalking of satellites, the embedding in critical infrastructure,
Supply chain, the fentanyl crisis, the buying our farmland, buying land next to military bases. I mean, it goes on and on.
And
The
this is-
propaganda, the bot farms. I mean,
influencing
on
us.
and on and on and on.
I have questioned, Shawn, this is hard to say, but I don't know. I don't know if, fuck, dude. There's so much distrust, and people don't realize it, how bad it is right now. Every second, every minute, all it takes is one fucking thing, and that could be it. Now, what we hope is that those 9 people at that table aren't fucking crazy. But let me tell you something. Guess who's sitting at that table? Just one example. Got Kim Jong-un sitting there. He's fucking crazy. You know? That's just, some people will then say, well, maybe his gun doesn't work. Okay. Are you comfortable with someone pointing a gun at you? That might not work. There's people that are more flamboyant about it, and there's people that aren't. I've questioned, because of the way the world's going, everybody's arming up. Is my generation going to get to live their full potential? It's tough.
Everybody's worried about that, man.
It is, dude. Because it's something I really believe in. Dude, people just want to live. Like I've heard you talk about, you went to war for what? You have your feelings. You were wondering why you were out there. Same thing. We're totally off topic, but how far are people willing to go? And I don't know. I really don't know. But based on everything I'm seeing, dude, it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. And we've got to get, the thing is how do we even fix that? There's so much distrust. Everybody's spying on everybody. Everybody's embedding in each other's shit. It's a clusterfuck, dude. How do you fix that? Right now, The only fix to that we've been using is deterrence. That's okay. We're making all this shit and hoping we never have to use it. And what's fucked, Shawn, is if we want to stop, they won't. Same stuff with like AI. Look at this AI shit right now. It's being weaponized. Has to be. Right? We don't have an option. Because if we don't do it, China's going to do it.
Yep.
Russia's going to do it. Everybody's doing it. So we're fucked. We have to do it.
Yep.
But look at what comes with that. You know, I always tell people the number one thing that guarantees, that I believe guarantees our freedoms in this country is that at the end of the day, let's say, God forbid, something happened and this country had an issue where the military was directed to do things that were unconstitutional to us, that would take our rights away. At the end of the day, there's one thing that stops a ridiculous order and our everyday life, and something impacting our everyday life. And you know what that is? A soul. Okay? If a soldier, at the end of the day, that they have a heart, they have a soul, they have a mind. With the way we're going, man, we're getting into the world where is that even going to be necessary anymore? Can you just take an order and it just does it? You know? You ever thought about that? That we got all these countries now that are using robotics and they're arming all these robots. Fuck, could you imagine what it would look like if one of these countries had a coup from within? With AI? What the fuck does the world do? And all these AI wizards and tech guys, I'm not a tech guy, and these guys might dog on me and say this guy has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Okay, cool. What's your plan for that? Well, it can never happen. How? There's guardrails. Everybody can break a guardrail. Fuck, AI is right now thinking for itself. Did you hear the story? There was I think it was, I don't know if it was Google or who it was. They had to shut down an AI that they were testing because they told the AI that they were going to shut it down, like, because it wasn't working well, and they were kind of just egging it on, and it threatened to blackmail one of the developers.
Was that real? I couldn't tell if that was real.
I read it was real.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it was an AI. It was a report that they released. I forgot the group's name. And when I saw that, I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I think this is what I think. I think it is a game of patience. And this is going to sound bad.
Oh, fuck it.
But I think this is going to be a game of patience. I think that the older generations are going to have to disappear. You know, it's a matter of time. Just everybody fucking dies, right? I think the older generations, as they start to die off, you know, I think because the younger generations are more in tune with what's going on. At least that's my view of things. I
think they're sick of it.
They see the AI. They have total, complete distrust in mainstream media. They don't trust any of the government institutions. Then you have the older generations that they can't wrap their head around the fact that the news outlets that they've been watching for 75 years are fucking lying to them and likely have been the entire time.
Yeah.
You know, that their entire world has been flipped upside down, and they just don't understand it. I mean, just like the thing you just showed me, a 93-year-old woman or 83-year-old woman posting an AI video thinking it's real. And then under all the comments, those people all think it's real too. I mean, it's very unfortunate, but you're not going to reframe, you know, 65 years old plus. You're not going to reframe that mind. It's just their entire world has been flipped upside down. Tech is just advancing at a rapid pace, and they're not going to get it.
It's crazy where it's going.
I think that, you know, I think that the younger generation's more in tune with this, you know, probably millennial generation and down. Yeah. You know, and that's I think it's a waiting game, unfortunately. I also think, that people need to be a little bit more accepting, a little bit less judgmental, a little bit more willing to poke holes in their own fucking stories.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that are unwilling to do any self-reflection and poke holes in their own stories. And that is detrimental. That is fucking absolutely detrimental. When you have somebody that is 100% bought and sold on what they are seeing on X and are unwilling to self-reflect and poke holes in their own stories,
Right.
that person is now gone too. And I mean, you just always have to be willing to poke holes in your own bullshit. And
Yeah.
you don't see a lot of that today either. But that's what I think. And I think people need to lean out too. I think this
have to.
becomes their life.
Go challenge. You've got to challenge what you're seeing.
People are spending 7 hours a day on social media.
Yeah. Getting cooked up what the algorithm wants them to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it just pigeonholes you more and more and more and more. The more time you spend on it, the more it learns about you, and the more
Crazy
you're
how
fed.
much power that is.
Yeah.
You can literally move somebody to do anything.
But it has no power if we go back to human connection.
Can we get there? Honestly, I've thought about that.
I don't know.
Remember the days when I grew up, I didn't really tell you much about when I grew up, but I remember the days, man, you would go knock on your neighbor's door to play with them and shit. Do shit like that, play soccer. Yeah, stuff still goes on, but remember the days where you would actually like make plans with your friends and hang out with them and go, all that stuff is like, and those were like private moments. Now everything has to be publicized and thrown on social media. And it's weird how, like, man, our childhood, what it was and what it is now, it's just different. But I do see that there's a drive among some people to try to give their children that are being born today that same childhood, away from the iPad, not giving the kid the iPad and the bullshit.
It's happening all the time, man. I just had Trey Stevenson, co-founder of Van Durl. These kids don't have any devices.
Really?
Major tech guy.
See how sad too. I was at a dinner recently, and it was an older woman, maybe in her 90s, and she was sitting there with her two, I would assume they were her grandkids, fucking stuck in the phone while she's eating.
Oh, man, I see it all the time.
And, I thought to myself, like, fuck. And I just, we're all on borrowed time. Those kids will grow up and they'll regret that. Those moments that you're just fucking stuck in some little virtual box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sucks, dude.
It's pretty sad. But there's a lot of good stuff going on in the world too.
Yeah, you gotta look both
But you'll never see it if you don't lean out of digital. But get out in your fucking community.
Touch
Not
grass.
everybody hates you. I see it all over this town.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, as we wrap this up,
Yeah.
and you have been judging media outlets, big ones, small ones, independent ones, mainstream ones, how do you think we're doing?
I think you're doing a good job, Shawn. And you brought on Gavin Newsom. I'll be honest with you. I don't keep up with all your stuff religiously. Just because life gets crazy, man.
Hey, I get it.
I can barely keep up with my shit, but I catch one every once in a while. My brother, though, that's why he's here. He wanted to meet you. But I had this impression of you originally that you were more right-leaning. I don't know why. That's just how I absorbed it originally. And over time, as I listened to you, I've seen that I was wrong. And I think how I view you and what you're doing here is you're trying to have a real conversation with people. And you bringing on Gavin Newsom, I think, was really the pinnacle of you showing that you're not an echo chamber. You're open to people challenging new ideas. I've seen some of your podcasts where you have somebody on talk shit on somebody else, and then you let that other person that was getting shit talked come on in. You know, and I think that's important and that's good, and you're facilitating that, and that's what I think we need. People need to be able to have a conversation again. You know, there's guys from the left and guys from the right that all have great ideas. Some of them are bad, some of them are good, but at the end of the day, we should be able to sit down and have a conversation about it. You know, I think that's what you're doing here. I think you're allowing people to come in here and open up and talk. Fuck, I mean, you've had some amazing guests. I told you, it's crazy I'm sitting here because you've had some truly top tier guests. Fuck, you had Tom Homan in his chair crying. It's a tough man. Like, you know, you got me to tear up a little bit in here. It's just how I feel. You've had everybody from all walks of life, and you've even brought in people from different countries that maybe have some different views than what we're all told here. And I think that's important. I think you're truly someone that's independent, and you're kind of going down your road, and you're open to all ideas. And that's the same thing with me. We're both artists. We just paint a picture and put a bunch of color on it and let people figure it out. That's just what you've been doing. And I hope you continue to do that. I hope that you, you know, bring in people. You know, be cool. Something that we're going to do is I want to start bringing in Republican and Democratic lawmakers over for a dinner and talk about America while they cook some food. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be great.
I think that would be sick. I have AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene in the kitchen.
That's right.
I might get fucking canceled for that. Or like a Republic, you know, and cook a meal and have a conversation about America. And I think you're doing that on a much larger scale, bringing people in and having that conversation. We need to have more of that. We need to have less of the loud, noisy bullshit and more of just people connecting on a human level as Americans.
The human connection.
It's important. We got to get back to that. And if we don't, it's not good.
Yeah.
I hope people take that away from that too. Like, really get out of your echo chambers. You don't have to like my news. I could give two fucks. Stay where you're at, but challenge yourself.
They have to realize they're in an echo chamber first.
Right.
A lot of people still don't realize it.
Yeah. If you watch Fox News, please take 30 minutes out of your day. And I know it's hard to do. Turn on MSNBC. Just turn it on.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with the people watching MSNBC. I know it's hard. 30 minutes. Just reinforce what you believe, because you would be surprised. There's much more that unites us than divides on both sides. You just don't realize it because people
Just goes back to, you have to be willing to poke holes in your own story.
True.
But, well, John, I love what you're doing, man.
I appreciate it.
Been following you for a long time. I'll continue to do it. Dude, you got to make the newsletter.
Newsletter. So what? It's just,
there's your subscription.
Yeah.
The newsletter.
Just a newsletter that people get news from.
Just a little bit more detail.
Got it.
But
one more thing to do, man.
Hey, you got to expand, right?
Yeah.
You're not growing, you're dying. But Hey, man, pleasure to meet you.
Nice meeting you, Shawn.
Thank you. And real news, no bullshit. So everybody check it out.
Catch us on Instagram, and we got a website. And simple, man.
Cheers. I'm Shawn Ryan, former Navy SEAL, CIA contractor, and host of The Shawn Ryan Show. Much of my life has been dedicated to seeking truth and getting answers, no matter how uncomfortable the questions are that we have to ask. But in the age of the PSYOP, That search has never been more difficult. In September of 2022, the U.S. Army's 4th PSYOP Group released a cryptic video on YouTube.
There is another very important phase of warfare. It has as its target not the body, but the mind of the enemy.
Between clips of troops assembling chess pieces and social unrest, phrases begin to appear on screen. They ask, "Have you ever wondered who's pulling the strings?"
These are the Psy-War soldiers.
The series you're about to listen to is an attempt to answer that question, and an even bigger one. The global power brokers that conduct psychological operations constantly evolve. Technology like AI has evened the playing field, and now, in the era of social media and the democratization of information, all it takes to conduct a PSYOP is a smartphone.
Like and subscribe.
In each episode, we look at a different method of psychological operations, how they've evolved, and how they are being deployed. There's a quote that is attributed to a scientist named E.O. Wilson that says, "We are drowning in information while starving for wisdom." This is a life raft in that sea of both information and misinformation. PSYOPs are all around us. They are conducted by corporations, governments, activist groups, intelligence agencies, foreign adversaries, and anyone who knows how to shape perception to get what they want. The series provides an in-depth look at how these PSYOPs work, from conversations with whistleblowers, experts, historians, tech innovators, and more. We look at world events that are being shaped by highly constructed psychological operations specialists, and look at the terrifying possibilities of where this could all be headed. Along the way, you'll learn about everything from Russian troll farms, fake ghosts in the jungles of Vietnam, and mind control cults to the CIA's involvement in Hollywood.
Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks?
The early history of PSYOPs and psychological experiments laid the foundation for what we see today in modern campaigns that seek to divide culture over polarizing issues. We look at where we are and how we got here. But ultimately, this series is a toolkit to help you understand how you're being manipulated and how to spot the signs of a PSYOP. Before the Army's viral PSYOP recruitment video ends, the words on screen inform viewers that war is evolving and all the world's a stage. This series is a peek behind the curtain. Welcome to the PSYOP. Buy it today at psyopshow.com. No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.